Malaga Radio.
Freshly squeezed.
The juice on all the daily events along the coast.
With just a little bit of zest.
If music is part of your holiday between Monday the 24th and Sunday the 30th of August, this week gives you a very good reason not to ask simply, who is playing? Ask something else. What kind of night do you actually want?
Because we have a concert inside a quarry, 3 days of metal beside a castle, an indie festival where Saturday ends in fancy dress, electronic music by the sea, flamenco, small live music venues and beach clubs that can start partying long before a nightclub has even opened.
So yes, slightly more complicated than there is a concert on Saturday. Let us start in Marbella. Starlite Occident reaches the end of its summer program this week at the Cantera de Nagueles. And if you have never been, the setting matters. This is an old quarry in the hills above Marbella that has been turned into an auditorium.
And there are 3 very different headline nights this week. Monday the 24th brings Gloria Trevi, Wednesday the 26th is Nile, Rodgers and CHIC, and Saturday the 29th brings Love of Lesbian.
Which means even one venue is giving you 3 completely different reasons to go. Latin pop at the beginning of the week, then Nile, Rodgers and CHIC, which is going to be a very difficult evening for anybody attempting to remain seated.
That sounds strangely specific.
I am simply observing human behavior. And then Spanish indie rock closes the week. But whichever night interests you, remember that Starlite is not a conventional town center concert hall. Part of the experience is getting up into that quarry and having the mountains around the auditorium.
So check the current arrival and transport information before you go. The venue uses its own access arrangements, and this is one of those nights where understanding how you are getting there is useful before the concert begins.
Definitely before Nile, Rodgers begins. Afterwards, your planning abilities may be reduced.
Now move east to Fuengirola and change the musical universe completely. From Thursday, the 27th through Saturday, the 29th, Sun and Thunder takes over Mare Nostrum Fuengirola beside Sohail Castle.
And this one is metal, properly metal.
3 days of it. The program includes artists such as Ivor, Lordi, Destruction, Avantasia, Soen, and Primal Fear, with a single main stage rather than several stages competing against each other.
That single stage idea is actually useful. At some festivals, you spend half the day calculating which band you are prepared to abandon so you can run across a field to another stage. Here, the program comes to you one act after another.
Exactly. It makes the festival easier to understand, particularly if you are visiting rather than arriving with a spreadsheet.
Although there will absolutely be somebody with a spreadsheet.
There is always somebody with a spreadsheet.
But the setting is another one of those Costa del Sol combinations that sounds slightly unlikely until you see it. Heavy metal, summer evening, Mediterranean, and a castle beside you.
Sun and Thunder runs across Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, so use the current official program if particular artists matter to you.
And almost at the same time, Torremolinos has built an entirely different festival world. Canela Party runs Thursday the 27th through Saturday the 29th at the Recinto Ferial.
This is the alternative side of the week. Indie rock, garage, post-punk, noise, alternative electronics, and a program that includes artists such as Unknown Mortal Orchestra, Mannequin Pussy, Carolina Durante, and Deaf Heaven.
But Canela has another identity as well. Saturday is the famous costume finale.
Yes, the final night is built around fancy dress, and that tells you quite a lot about the character of the festival. This is not simply people standing in rows waiting for a headline artist. The audience becomes part of the event.
Which means if you see somebody on the train dressed as something completely inexplicable on Saturday,
there may be a perfectly sensible reason.
Or there may not. It is Torremolinos. Both answers are possible.
Now, before we leave the bigger nights, Malaga City itself has a strong Saturday. At the Auditorio Municipal Cortijo de Torres, there is Cream Iceland by Alvama Ice, and Los Chunguitos are also performing in Malaga at Malaga Forum. Both were confirmed in the current week 35 audit.
And that is worth mentioning because once Malaga Feria ends, it can feel as though all the big entertainment immediately moves west along the coast. It does not. The city still has its own nights happening.
Let us make the next few quicker. Saturday the 29th in Malaga City, BIZNART runs from 5 in the afternoon until 11 at night at Antiguo Liceo in Plaza del Carbon.
We mentioned that in festivals and traditions because it mixes art and music. Here, the music side matters. Electronic sounds, DJs, and visual work in the same historic center event.
And it is the same verified event, not a second listing. Also on Saturday in Estepona, Estepona. Electrolunch runs from midday until midnight around Mirador del Carmen. Electronic music, food, activities, and a long daytime to evening format.
Then take the music completely the other way. Saturday at 10 in the evening in Algarrobo Pueblo, the Noche Flamenca de Algarrobo takes place at Parque de la Escalerilla,
A municipal open-air flamenco night and free entry. So within the same Saturday, you can find electronic music in Estepona, flamenco in Algarrobo, urban music in Málaga, and major festival programs in Fuengirola, Torremolinos, and Marbella.
That is a very busy Saturday. We just wanted you to know you are under absolutely no obligation to attempt all of it.
For smaller live music venues, ZZ Pub in Málaga has a verified program this week as well. Funkanauts on Wednesday the 26th, Frank Suz and the Crazy 88s on Friday the 28th, 20th Century Band on Saturday, and Mystery Machine on Sunday.
This is the other side of live music. No giant quarry, no festival field, a small established venue in Málaga where the band is much closer to you.
Doors are at 10:30 in the evening, with the live music normally beginning around 11. And in Estepona, Louie Louie Live keeps the small venue route going at the marina. There is rock, electronic music, and its regular live programming across the week. One timing worth noticing. Hard Mandanga begins at midnight at the very start of Saturday, the 29th.
That is Friday night turning into Saturday.
Exactly, not Saturday night turning into Sunday. Midnight is a surprisingly efficient way to cause arguments with calendars.
And if flamenco is what you want, but you are not looking for a once-a-year festival, Málaga has permanent choices as well. Tablao Flamenco Alegría in La Malagueta and Teatro Flamenco Málaga Club in the Historic Center both run multiple performances.
Those are bookable experiences with changing casts and live availability, so check the current program rather than relying on one fixed time from us.
And that is also worth understanding about flamenco here. It does not disappear because Feria has finished. There are permanent stages where singers, dancers, and guitarists are working throughout the season.
And if you want to take the music in a completely different direction, head inland to Alfarnate, where the Festival Barroco gives us a very different kind of evening.
And I like having that in this episode, because after Starlight, metal, indie, DJs, and beach clubs, suddenly we are inland in Alfarnate talking about Baroque music. That is a much better picture of the province than pretending everybody wants the same soundtrack.
Now, before we finish, can we talk about beach clubs? I suspected we might.
Because I think visitors sometimes hear Costa del Sol Beach Club and immediately imagine one very specific thing: white beds, very large sunglasses, someone carrying something enormous past the swimming pool.
You have clearly conducted extensive academic research.
Obviously, but they are not all the same, and that is the discovery.
The wider beach club research backs that up. Along the coast, you find restaurant-led clubs, pool clubs, places built around DJs and dancing, calmer, family-oriented venues, fitness and wellness concepts, and much more polished luxury day resort experiences.
So, beach club describes the location more reliably than it describes the mood. Somewhere might be lunch with music and a swim. Somewhere else is already a party by the afternoon. Another place is much more about the restaurant. And another one wants you to stay from the sunbed through sunset and into the evening.
Which is why the useful question is not simply, is there a beach club nearby? It is, what kind of beach club is it?
Exactly. Because arriving dressed for a quiet lunch and discovering that everybody else has apparently started Saturday night at 3 in the afternoon can be educational.
This week gives us a current example. On Sunday, the 30th, Amazing Sundays at Nikki Beach, Marbella runs from midday until 7 in the evening. That is very much the daytime music and pool side of the beach club spectrum.
And late August is a good time to notice this whole culture because we are still very much in the summer season. But do not assume every beach club operates identically throughout the year. Some venues continue well beyond summer. Others have much more seasonal entertainment programs.
So check the current program for the place that interests you.
And remember our one question rule. Someone says, let's go to a beach club. Ask, what kind?
That could save an interesting afternoon.
Or create one.
So that is music and nightlife from Monday the 24th through Sunday the 30th of August. Starlite gives you Gloria Trevi, Nile Rodgers, and CHIC, and Love of Lesbian in Marbella. Sun and Thunder brings 3 days of metal to Fuengirola. Canela Party brings 3 days of alternative music and its Saturday costume finale to Torremolinos.
Then there is electronic music in Málaga and Estepona, flamenco in Algarrobo and on permanent Málaga stages, smaller live venues in Málaga and Estepona, Baroque music inland, and a very full Saturday if you happen to enjoy making difficult decisions.
For current programs, booking information, and the places behind the stories, use malagaradio.net.
And there are separate weekly diary guides for festivals and traditions, culture and exhibitions, food and hospitality, and sports and outdoors. Or start with what's what's on Costa del Sol this week for the shorter overview.
Listen at malagaradio.com, and Malaga Radio podcasts are available on the major podcast platforms.
And for new events, changes, and the things we discover as the week actually unfolds, join us each morning on Freshly Squeezed.
Hasta luego.
Malaga Radio. Malaga Radio.